Well, it was something today that I've been wanting to do for a while now. At some point down the road, I'm really hoping to buy a Tormach CNC mill. Well, their TTS tooling system, Tormach Tooling System, so kind of like ATM machines, redundant. Anyway, they use a special 3/4 inch R8 collet, okay? And then the tools interchange. And so I'm not sticking exactly to their design because I'll probably just buy tool holders from them for the most part until I get the CNC and stuff like that. When I get the CNC. Anyway, because they have a groove in here and this is a different shape and size and that stuff. But I figure, you know, what it's going to do is it's going to extend me down a bit. So I'm not too worried about the size of this right now. I may have to turn these down a little bit for clearance, but for right now, you know, if I have a drill or a router cutter stuck in there, you know, I've got this big whole nose. I've only got that 5/8 of an inch hanging down into there. Whereas this way, you know, I'll have an extra, I'll have all of that for clearance. Anyway, so what I did was I started off with this chrome bar. This is why I bought it. It's 1.5 inches. It's basically hardened on the outside. The machine's pretty nice. Haven't had any trouble with it. It's the same stuff I used on that Roadster, the Volvo caliper drill jig that I just posted. Anyway, this is the R8 3/4 inch collet, and what it does is I've cut a relief in there like they have so that the tip of this will go in, and so actually the R8 collet will go in a little past the flat. Now what that does is when it's up in there, then this surface here registers with the nose of the spindle, and it gives you repeatability. Okay, so let's we'll throw this back in here real quick. So now instead of me having to change collets every time I want to, you know, I can have two different ones, and I can have a drill bit in one and a cutter in the other. Okay, and then I can come in here and just hold it up and tighten it up. And I don't have the light anymore, but I've checked these, and there's no light in there. It's tight up against the R8 collet, clamps and pulls up at the same time. So that's coming out pretty nice. This one came out beautiful. See, all I got to do is loosen it up, and then if I have a different tool in this one, you know, I've just changed tools without having to drop the entire collet down. So I only have to drop it down 1.5 inches instead of the full length of the R8 collet. Also makes it a little nice because since I don't have as much headroom and quill, and it's a round column and I can't easily pick it up and down for clearance, this ought to help pretty nice. So anyway, I got the two shanks. This one here, I buggered it up, broke a cutter and stuff like that the way I was doing it. That was kind of tricky. This is the practice one. I've got scars on the outside and that stuff. I still have to drill and tap a 1/4 hole in here for the set screw. Okay, and that's how that'll clamp on there and hold that. For the cutters, they have a set screw flat in here. Okay, so then I'll be able to put it in there and tighten the set screw down. And this will be good for roughing and stuff. I don't know that that's close enough. I'll find out what the run out is when I finish it. So that was practice. Really not too concerned with it. This one here came out perfect though. I'm liking this because there's actually air pressure. You know, it seals so close. There's very little play there. It's probably not as precise as Tormach's. And theirs are not that expensive. You know, but if you want to have 100 of them, might be a different story. 25 bucks a piece. Something like that, roughly. Anyway, I'm kind of just rambling. So that'll go in there. Now, I can, when I get the CNC, or if I get the lathe working and that stuff, the CNC lathe, I can turn these out in blanks and then go back in and bore this to the size I want for the tool I want. So that's what I've been playing with today. I don't know if I'm going to get around to doing the 1/4 today or not. That's just cool. Making tools, that's my favorite thing. Anyway, So I got the hole drilled and tapped. I did it on both. This is the better of the two that had the better fit and that stuff. I was getting ready to try cutting something, and I thought, oh, you know, I should test the repeatability. So what I did was I put it in, zeroed the Z-axis, okay, and touched down a couple times, and it keeps coming back to 0. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. So now, if I take it out, normally if I loosen the collet up and the cutter moved at all, there's no way I could get it right back exactly where I wanted it to go. So let's see, I'm going to hold it up in there. That's a half thousandths, 0. Yeah, so I mean, whoa. So it's exactly within a half thousandth. So that's just phenomenal. Because once you get a group of these together, if I don't move the height of the head, then I could switch from this cutter to a drill bit to a different cutter to something else. And then when I come back to this, I don't have to deal with touching off and all that kind of stuff again. So it makes it to where just a whole lot easier in planning your tooling and your cutting and that stuff. You know, a lot of times it's real hard to get all the cuts with one cutter done, you know. Anyway, just kind of rambling. I'm going to put in a piece of steel, and we'll just do a quick little machining test just to see, you know. I mean, it should be pretty rigid and everything, so just doing it just to see. Alright, this is 15 thousandths. So I don't need to hog it. I don't need to make it too deep. We'll I just want to kind of flatten the end off a little bit. So let's try 10 thou. Cool. The spindle bolt, the drawbar is peeking through enough that I could do it. So let's put it back in and cut again and see where we're sitting. That's leaving a mark. Half thousandths might have, but when I clamp down, I'm at an extra. Nice. Okay, so what I did, I took this out, put it back in. It wasn't making any marks. I dropped the spindle 1/1000th, and it milled all that off. It probably would have been making a mark at half thou, but when I clamped it, put the quill lock on it, pushed it down to 1 thou. So, man, that repeatability is going to be friggin' awesome. I'm quite tickled with that. So, let me put the cutter in the other one. We'll put a cutter in the other one, and let's see how it does. Yeah, let's see if we can zoom in here. Yeah, you can see the wobble in it. So that cutter might be good for roughing, not the cutter itself, but the tool holder. Even when I made it, because the hole's a little sloppy, and for some reason, even in the lathe, it seemed a little off, like it had a bend in it or something. So the other two spun true, and I only made this one and the other one. The other one's beautiful, perfect. So I'll try to open this up for a different cutter and see if I can get it to spin true, and then that way this piece isn't a waste. And I'll definitely have to I used 5/16 with 18 pitch thread because I had a bunch of them. I'll just need to get some shorter ones. I don't want that sticking out like that because it's too easy to catch something. So I might play with that a little bit, but I think I'm pretty much going to shut down and see if I can't get this video edited and up.